The movie starts by showing a character named Raymond Bradstone. Ray is seen in prison, talking on the phone with a woman. Their conversation ends abruptly when another inmate rudely interrupts, shouting insults at Ray. Because Ray is very strong, he could easily knock out the rude prisoner with one punch. A few days after this incident, Ray finishes his long prison sentence and is set free. Before leaving, he gives some books he's been reading to the head officer of the prison. Outside the prison, Ray asks the warden what people usually do after being released. The warden replies that most people act recklessly. Soon after his release, Ray meets a man named LaRue, who was his partner in a previous bank robbery. LaRue invites Ray to join another heist and pressures him to get into a car. Ray initially ignores LaRue but then suddenly gets into the car. Instead of following LaRue's plan, Ray takes the car and leaves LaRue behind. That night, Ray looks at a photo of his wife and daughter, feeling a strong desire to be with them again. He wants to leave his past behind, make positive changes, and be a responsible husband and father. The next day, Ray visits his wife, Lynn Bradstone, and their daughter, Sally Bradstone. Lynn is hesitant to let Ray back into their lives. She views Ray as an unreliable person who has let her down as both a husband and father. Just then, Sally comes back from school and spots Ray at the door. Her face shows her annoyance at seeing him, and it's obvious she has trouble accepting him back. She rejects the stuffed bear he offers and quickly goes inside. The next day, Ray shows up at Sally's school to apologize, hoping to fix their strained relationship. However, Sally is still upset about Ray's past behavior and finds it difficult to forgive him. Despite his efforts to convince her that he has changed and will be there for her, she struggles to believe him and walks away, leaving him alone. Moments later, the sound of firecrackers is heard from a distance. It's revealed that a fight has broken out in the school corridor. Ray quickly steps in, breaks up the fighting boys, and takes them to the school head. Soon after, Sally's teacher, Miss Miller, approaches Ray. Identifying himself as Sally's dad, Miss Miller invites Ray to join an upcoming museum tour as a chaperone and security guard. With not much else going on, Ray grabs the chance to spend more time with Sally and agrees. Sally, however, seems annoyed and distances herself from him. Later that night, LaRue unexpectedly shows up at Ray's apartment. He offers a deal: he won't report Ray for stealing a car if Ray helps with a planned bank robbery. Ray is furious at the suggestion and refuses LaRue's request with strong opposition. He can't forgive LaRue for betraying him before, which led to Ray being imprisoned for a long time. Regardless of Ray's rejection, LaRue insists on dragging him into his plan, almost pushing Ray to the edge of physically confronting LaRue. The next day, Ray tries to reconnect with Lynn and Sally by visiting their home. Unfortunately, he is met with the same cold reception and is turned away again. To add to his heartbreak, he sees Lynn with another man, clearly indicating she's moved on. Lynn tells Ray to leave, making it clear that she and their daughter do not want to reunite with him. Despite this, Ray tries to convince Lynn that he wants to improve things for their family. Lynn, however, points out his current joblessness and lack of money, expressing doubt about his ability to make any positive changes. Realizing he needs money to support his family, Ray begins looking for a job. But his criminal record becomes a significant obstacle, as many companies immediately reject his applications upon discovering his past. After a whole day of fruitless job hunting, Ray returns home only to find his apartment on fire, adding another layer to his troubles. Due to his tough situation, Ray reluctantly agrees to join LaRue's crew for a bank robbery. The day after, LaRue, Ray, and two other accomplices proceed with the heist. Ray is assigned to wait in the getaway car while the others rob the bank. As he waits, Ray unexpectedly sees Sally and her classmates heading to a museum for a school trip. This sight brings back fond memories of his close relationship with Sally, making him realize the seriousness of his current actions. He knows that if caught, he would face a long prison sentence, missing valuable time with Sally. Determined to change his path, Ray decides to abandon the heist. He throws the car keys into some bushes and boards the bus with Sally and her classmates, joining their museum visit. Sally, spotting Ray on the bus, tries to persuade him to leave, but he insists on staying. Meanwhile, LaRue and his gang successfully complete the robbery and rush back to the car, only to find Ray gone and the keys missing. Forced to flee on foot with the stolen money, they aim to avoid police detection. Unfortunately, during their chaotic escape, Domo, one of LaRue's team members, gets separated from the group and drops the money bag among the school students' luggage. Panicking, Domo runs off, abandoning the money. Seeing this, LaRue and the others express their frustration with Domo's mistake but have no choice but to keep running to evade the approaching police. While fleeing, Domo gets into a car crash and passes out. At the same time, LaRue and his gang steal a car to chase a school bus, unaware it's carrying their missing loot. Their chase ends abruptly when they hit a truck. Domo wakes up in the hospital and is questioned by the police about the bank robbery and the stolen money, believed to be on a school bus parked nearby. After traveling for a few hours, Ray and the students arrive at a dinosaur museum. Since the assigned tour guide is sick, Ray offers to guide the group using his knowledge from books he read while in jail. Soon, Ray notices LaRue and his gang at the museum. He tells the students to go back to the bus while he plans to confront LaRue's gang in the restroom. Ray tries to explain he wants out of their criminal dealings, but LaRue's gang reveals the stolen money is on the school bus and asks him to get it. Realizing the situation, Ray drives the students to their next tour stop. Upon arrival, he checks the bus's trunk and finds the stolen money. His idea is to give the money back to LaRue to protect his daughter. However, the police suddenly show up during their exchange, causing LaRue and his crew to leave quickly. After escaping the cops, they bump into 3 Mexican mafia members and ask for their help in finding Ray. That evening, Ray and the students arrive at a hotel for a brief stay. Ray takes the bag of stolen money to his room. He then calls LaRue, suggesting he leave the stolen money outside the hotel for LaRue to pick up. But LaRue dismisses this plan because the location is too busy and risky. LaRue suggests they meet in a more private and secure place. Taking advantage of some time before meeting LaRue, Ray decides to spend some quality time with Sally. He takes her to a record store to buy her favorite music cassette and then to a restaurant for a meal. Meanwhile, detectives arrive at the hotel and question Miss Miller about Ray's whereabouts. Later, as Ray is about to head back to the hotel, he sees several police officers around. Realizing he's now a target, he tells Sally what's really going on and instructs her to get the bag from his room. After securing the bag, Ray urges Sally to go back to the hotel and join the other students, wanting to keep her safe since LaRue and his group are still free. Sadly, just as Sally is about to enter the hotel, LaRue and his men catch and kidnap her. Ray arrived at the spot LaRue had told him about but was quickly ambushed by members of the Mexican mafia. Thanks to his combat skills, Ray managed to fight them off one by one with ease. After the fight, LaRue called Ray, revealing that he had kidnapped Sally. Furious, Ray warned LaRue not to harm her. LaRue demanded Ray bring the stolen money to a secret location for an exchange. Ray quickly took a taxi to the specified place. Before getting out, he told the driver to leave immediately once Sally got into the car. Sally managed to escape and safely returned to the hotel. Realizing her father was still in danger, she decided to rescue him. She asked her friends Josh, Benny, and Iqbal for help. Using Ray's cell phone, Iqbal tracked his location. Benny then set off firecrackers to distract the police so they could leave the hotel undetected. Meanwhile, Ray was locked up by LaRue and his gang, angry because Ray had tricked them with a fake bag filled with a doll. They beat him, trying to force him to reveal the money's location. Ray stayed silent and didn't give in. Soon, Sally and her friends arrived at Ray's location and started to fight LaRue's men. At the same time, Ray managed to call a friend who worked at a radio station, allowing the police to pinpoint his location through the broadcast. Unaware that their chat was being taped, LaRue freely admitted that Ray was actually innocent and that his plan had always been to use Ray for his own gain. At the same time, police officers arrived and quickly arrested LaRue and his gang. It was confirmed that Ray was innocent because he was on a school bus with students when the crime happened. Shortly after, Lynn showed up to see if Sally was okay. At this moment, Ray was able to prove to his wife that he had become a more reliable and better person. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell if you want to watch more videos like this. Thanks and see you again soon. Take care.